What's up, everybody? Tom Pelissero here, back in Mankato as the two-a-days roll on. Special teams only practice in the afternoon. That got me thinking I haven't talked a whole lot about the special teams on this video, so we might as well go into it, especially after some of the comments that Brian Murphy made after practice today. Here's what we know on special teams. Chris Kluwe, barring a massive epic meltdown, will be the punter, and he's looked solid so far, especially directionally speaking, in practice. Percy Harvin will be the kick returner if and when, I shouldn't say if, when he returns to the Vikings. He's now been gone almost a week, and obviously is far too valuable in that role to consider using anybody else. I think you can assume that Ryan Longwell is going to be the field goal kicker for this team based on how good he was last year. You don't just put a 90+% field goal kicker onto the street under any circumstances. And regardless of how Rhys Lloyd has looked so far in camp, and he has been solid when he's been kicking field goals, I think it's just too risky to even consider that. Now let's look at the other two things. Number one, the punt return game. Darius Renaud had to be the favorite entering camp based on his familiarity with the position last year. Now he's got a sprained ankle, so we've seen a bunch of different guys. Tay Biddle, Lito Shepard, Marcus Sherrills, Jamar Johnson, Ray Small, Asher Allen, all those guys took some reps today, and there could be even more guys in the mix as this thing rolls on. They're going to give everybody a long look. Obviously, it's a diverse group. You've got some speedsters. Sherrill, obviously. Small is a guy who was productive when he was out there doing it at Ohio State. They're going to look at that entire list. You'd think that they would have liked Renaud to be able to stay healthy, but now that job definitely appears to be wide open. And then the other thing that's going to transpire, that's going to be really interesting to watch, is what ends up happening on kickoffs. They gave Rhys Lloyd a bonus to sign a deal with the Vikings after he was non-tendered by Carolina for a reason. They thought he could be a weapon. But as we've listened over the past week, Brad Childress said they still need to evaluate how much of a weapon that's going to be before they set their 53-man roster. Brian Murphy took it another step today, suggesting that even if Lloyd and Longwell both make the 53, that it could be a week-to-week decision as far as who's up on the 45. You're able to have 45 of your 53 players active on game day. There could be times where, because they're nicked up at another position or they think they need somebody else for a specific reason at a different position, that maybe Longwell would handle kickoffs one week and Lloyd would be active and handle kickoffs another week. I cannot imagine that they would actually do that, but I asked the question specifically, would you consider a situation like that? And he said, sure, it's not different than any other position. The plan through the preseason is going to be to give Longwell and Lloyd each a half of each game, so they'll end up with 2 games total, and that way they're not going every other kickoff, every other field goal. They'll let them get it within a rhythm. So Longwell may have the first 2 quarters in the opener against St. Louis. Lloyd may have the first 2 quarters in the second game against San Francisco. It's definitely going to be something to watch. They obviously think that Lloyd can be a weapon for him, but how much of one? How valuable is it, not only for the 53, but also for the 45? Something to watch closely. Back here for the last 2 a day of the opening sequence, and then finally an off day on Sunday. I'll be here with another camp report, and of course all the stories at 1500ESPN.com. See ya.